So I don't normally get to make videos like this all that often. Certainly not as much as I'd like to, and that is due to the fact that I am practically nocturnal. So by the time I wake up and see the news, it's been talked about to death, and the point of making a video, it becomes redundant at that point. But not today. I'm awake, and I get to talk about the fact that Carter Hart is going to start tonight for the Philadelphia Flyers in a move that is viewed as a massive mistake. And despite what you may think because of that right there, I don't hate the Philadelphia Flyers. I don't hate Philadelphia sports, really. Now, I know, you think, oh my god, that, you must hate the Flyers, 2010. Eric Lindros is love. Eric Lindros is life. So I do not hate the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, I might laugh at them if their fans, you know, throw armbands onto the ice. I might laugh at the 76ers if, you know, they drop balloons and end up losing a game. And in response, Eagles fans can be like, haha, last February. And then I can respond with 5 rings, and then we just sit here and nothing happens. The point is, I don't hate the Philadelphia Flyers, and I'm certainly not rooting for Carter Hart to fail. If anything, this is an eerily similar situation to what we, as Bruins fans, saw with Malcolm Subban, where perhaps he was rushed, but even then, this situation is just a tad bit different. Number one, Carter Hart is younger, for example, and has much less experience in pro hockey. He has only played 17 games in the AHL, and you see that .901 save percentage, and you might think, oh man, it's actually pretty poor. Fun fact, it's not. As we'll see when we get into Malcolm Subban's seasons, you know, prior seasons in the AHL, save percentages in general right now in the AHL are down. It is still early on, but for Carter Hart to have a .901 save percentage, that puts him at 28th in the league. Right now in a league where only 6 players have a .920 or above, leading the way is Pavel Francouz, which is not surprising given that he had absolutely dominated the KHL in seasons past. So you see a .901 and you might be saying to yourself, Carter Hart's not doing all that well. He's not doing that poorly though. But that brings up the point, and again brings up the Malcolm Subban comparison, where by the time he had been given an opportunity with the Bruins back in 14-15, yeah, absolutely lit up. Then we flash forward to 16-17, and it was equally as bad. Now, of course, he went on to have success with the Golden Knights last year with that .910 save percentage, and this year, you know, it's still early, but hasn't been all that great. I think the main thing to look at here, and obviously the main concern with Carter Hart is that they're rushing him, and whatever happens tonight, whether or not this is an extended stay or not, could stunt his development, and that is true. I mean, if I'm a Flyers fan, and I mentioned this on Twitter, I would have much rather seen an AHL deal been made. Trade a TJ Brennan, who I think is still under contract with the Flyers, but you get the point. Trade an AHL defenseman for a veteran AHL goalie. Trade for Joe Canada. Call him up, throw him to the Wolves, and keep Carter Hart down in the AHL. If I'm a Flyers fan, that is certainly what I prefer to see happen. That is not the case. What's going to happen with Carter Hart tonight? It's tough to say. I mean, you're talking about arguably the most highly touted goaltending prospect in the league right now, and rightfully so. I mean, you look at what he had done with the Everett Silvertips. Last year, led the league in save percentage. The year before that, 16-17, spoiler alert, led the league in save percentage. And the year before that, while I don't believe his numbers were as high, he was still 6th in the league with 63 starts, one of 2 goalies with 60 starts, along with Connor Ingram. So I guess the overall concern here, again, is that you're rushing him. And when you look at Malcolm Subban, what he had done the year of that first start, 17th in save percentage in the league. I cannot talk today. Sheesh. I'm leaving this in because you have to know I'm not perfect. Never said I was. But Malcolm Subban, .921 save percentage that season. Pretty damn strong. But again, you can see some of the higher save percentages in the league at that point. And then by the time Subban's second start came around, again, not all that bad down here at 25th with a .917. Again, numbers were just much higher that season, it at least appears. I guess overall, the thought and the main concern with this, whether or not they're rushing him, time will tell. But Carter Hart is going to start tonight for the Philadelphia Flyers, and I'm very intrigued at the reaction of Flyers fans as far as whether or not there is concern, whether or not you think well, if it goes poorly, it's just a game. He'll be fine. Goalies are such an interesting topic of discussion, especially when you have a goalie who's this highly touted, coming up through a system where they have not exactly had solid goaltending consistently for a while now. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. And like I said, I'm not rooting against Carter Hart. I think it would actually be a hell of a story for him to, you know, get the win tonight. But whether or not that happens, it's going to be interesting. But we're going to remember. We're going to remember tonight, I have a feeling, for quite a while. But like I said, you look at his numbers. There's a reason he's this highly touted. But it's Philly. Are they gonna botch it? I just think there was a better situation around this. It is the 6th goaltender that they have started this season, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be a fun game to watch, and that's the first time this season where I've said, you know, I want to watch that Philadelphia Flyers game. Hextall's out, Carter Hart starting. Ron Hextall was let go about, what, a month ago now at this point. It's a new day, it's a new dawn for the Philadelphia Flyers. Or is it? Carter Hart may be being thrown to the Wolves tonight, and this could get very, very ugly. Maybe not as ugly as it got for Malcolm Subban in those 2 starts, but we don't have to talk about that. Please. Those were painful, painful days. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Is Carter Hart going to get a win tonight? Is he going to shock the world, or is he going to get lit up? And if he does, will the fans in attendance at his home game in Philadelphia, will he be booed if he gets lit up? I think that's going to be one of the interesting things. But I want the record to show I'm rooting for Carter Hart tonight. Go get that win. Just like the Bruins beat Montreal 4-0 last night. Topical. Thank you guys for watching this. I just wanted to shoot the shit for a little bit. Talk about some of the stats that were out there, especially as it relates to, the last one of the most recent highly touted goalies who was rushed to the NHL and then got lit up. Because, it pertains to that. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. There will be franchise mode episodes up alongside this, so check those out if you haven't already. And hopefully, heading into 2019, I can sit here and talk hockey a little bit more consistently. But again, the nocturnal lifestyle, I haven't been able to shake it for a long time. So we'll see what happens.